So this is another exciting day. So Rob and Johannes, great to see you again. Johannes, it's great to see you here in Ireland, because the last time we spoke to you was several years ago when we had a prototype 87, sorry, I'm getting confused with my numbers, and we were at the factory and we were talking a little bit about that, and Rob, you and I were together in Germany not that long ago when we launched the 9.5 and 9.6 harvester with the new engine. But innovation hasn't totally stopped there. Yous have came back and looked at the 8000 series. Johannes, what is happening? And it's great to see you again.
Hey, thanks for welcoming me here in Ireland. Yes, we are doing updates on our 8000 series. Next year in model year 23, we are changing a little bit the power lineup, starting at the lower end. The 8.1 will be the last one with a 9-liter engine, and it will have 431 horsepower as the 8.2 today. The 8.2 will get also the 13.5-liter engine, and we bump it up to 465 horsepower. And to adjust the lineup, also the 8.3 gets some horsepower more, 505. So that you have a seamless model lineup and also reacting to what the market wants, right? So we see that the tendency still goes up. We need some low horsepower machines in some markets. Maybe not so much here in your tough grass conditions, but there are still markets for those. But we see that we have to, let's say, strengthen our position there as well. And this is what we did. But that's just one piece of it. Yes, we look to more things. We adjusted things in the crop flow, maybe minor things. And as we learn it here, they work quite well. So feedback from the customers was very good.
Yes.
It's eating the grass very, very good. So crop flow adjustments in the feed roll area. And also when we come to maize, which is not so relevant for you guys, we are having some new technology on the KP coating, giving you more lifetime. So it's more attractive for the contractors, more lifetime, longer row life. So small things, but they have an impact, right? But also that's just one piece of it. Of course, customers want to shine, right? And this is what you can see behind me. It's really first time. We just mounted the styling of this machine here in Ireland. Exclusive, first time. It's a sneak preview for you guys in Ireland. We have the new styling of the 8000 series here behind me. We will introduce in model year 23.
And Rob, what does it mean, you know, for you and your customer base here in Ireland to be a part of John Deere's bigger picture when it comes to model testing and that? Because this is something that is ongoing, and there are currently machines at test in Ireland through all John Deere's forager ranges. Just tell us a little bit about what's actually on test in Ireland at the minute.
Yeah, so look, Gareth, obviously you know better than anyone, or as well as anyone, the conditions we have here in Ireland. Obviously, even you've seen today, there's a big range compared to what you're used to maybe at home versus where we are now in terms of volume of the crop. And obviously, you know, as a manufacturer, we need to test worldwide. You know, we're trying to build one machine or a full lineup of machines to suit a world's base of customers. For us here in Ireland, obviously, we're looking for machines that are able to cope with high volumes, heavy, wet conditions down here, but likewise to be able to withstand short, sugary, high nitrogen content grass, like with your multi-cut customers in Northern Ireland as well. So we get a big range, you know. So again, we've got some test machines out and about. Again, with some just with simple components in them, others with completely new systems. But mainly we've got an 18-litre engine machine out there on trial, and as well we're at the final stages with our new pickup that we're also launching, the 30R pickup, that again has been out and about here in Ireland for the last few years. So, you know, for me to have that here in Ireland is great for me personally, because it's the conditions that I deal with and the customers I speak to. It's what they're looking for, and to be able to get the customers that I deal with have their feedback and ideas going back to the engineers to make developments and features. It's great, you know, I can't ask for more.
And speaking to Mike, the customer who is running this 8.5 today, alongside his own 3-year-old 8.5, the feedback is absolutely phenomenal. He's talking about, Johannes, he's talking about things like you have somehow made it quieter, it feeds nicer. I think the power, I think if you'll agree, the power is pretty much the same as where it was. You know, a lot of those aspects. So, how what have you done to do that? Because that would have been a slight complaint in the past that it was quite rumbly, there was a bit of extra noise inside the cab, but it's definitely well quietened down, and I can vouch for that being with you, Rob, in Germany last year. What have you done there to do that? I mean, is it simple or was it more complicated than it looks?
So it's not just one thing, there are many things coming together. Yes, we focused over the last years, we listened to our customers, we got that feedback, especially let's say in bumpy grass conditions, when it became very dry in grass as well. They told us it's too noisy. So we adjusted, we reacted, and we did many things around the cab. Things you wouldn't see, but we worked on the insulation, the noise insulation of the cab, in the background, underneath it. We looked to every bit and piece where could be some leakage for noise, and we closed them. And we are continuously working on that one, because the guys are standing, or let's say working many hours in a day in those cabs, and if it's more quiet, it's better for them. Yes, we have done several items. It's more than a list of 30 items. If I would think through the engineering list, what we did, it's many small things, but they add up to a let's say good result in the cab, which is nice for the operators. Also, when it comes to crop flow, yes, the smoother feeding, I think it's the optimization of the feeding area. Yes, we did things there, and that helped. And we tested it already in other conditions it had there as well. So we are very close to launching that one as well. It's minor things, as said, but they make the difference. Also the feeling how the machine is going very smooth in the windrow, how it's behaving. Of course, we do small things around the engine. Yes, it has the same horsepower level, but we are also coming with a new ECU. It will be on the machines next year. And optimization come all along. If we get feedback in one or the other condition, there could be small optimization also around the engine curves. Yes, we do that, and we incorporate it into our current development, and we call that continuous improvement. Yes, so we are not stopping. So, and again, this is what we incorporated, and the customer could feel it today, and luckily the feedback is very nice.
So, for the guys that aren't necessarily, fully up to date with everything John Deere, maybe guys running competitive machines, etc., John Deere is now separated into two camps. We have standard body and wide body machine.
Yeah.
Standard body is what we are looking at today, which is now being launched, the new 8000 series, running the standard 639 premium header. Job's a good one, improved noise. This one's called Katie, by the way, we'll get that out there. Improved crop flow, as you say, looking at management of all the brains, but in essence this is now, and you get an 8.6, but the 8.6 is now a standard body machine, not to be confused with the slightly older 8.6 model that would be a wide bodied machine. And the maximum you get in the 8000 series is a 13.5 litre engine. Then we move up, Rob, to the new
9.5, 9.6,
and they're running the new engine.
Yeah, the 18X, 18 litre John Deere engine.
And then we're into the big baby.
Yeah, yeah.
the V12. And it's the 9 series that will have the option of this new header going forward.
Yeah. The header will, look, it'll be available throughout the product line, but typically we see it going on the 9000s. It's bigger horsepower, dealing with larger windrows, and tougher conditions generally.
Now, Johannes, when we were back in the factory a few years ago, I was shouting hard that the big foragers, we needed a different type of header. You've possibly knocked it out of the park this time. It's not just good, it seems to be really, really good, but yet with all, it's a strange concept to get around. Tell us a little bit about what you tried to do with the header.
Yes, so when you were back the times, you started the question, are 4 time bars enough, right?
Yes.
That's the one I remember. And we had some discussions about that. There were the pros and cons. The pros were it's really flat on the ground, so you have not lived too much with a tine unit. But we also learned through the years, right? And when we were there back in 2016, I think,
yes,
we were maximum, let's say 843. We were somehow already at the edge in your conditions, not in other conditions. But here in this very tough grass conditions, yeah, we see there was room for improvement, and then we came with a 9000. So the idea was, hey, we have to do a big step here in order to be able to fully load the big V12s. So we are now at 970 horse, and it all is coming through with grass. It's a different story in corn, but in grass, it's really tough. And then we looked at it. Hey, where do we start with? What are the things we wanna change? The first thing is, what are maybe the points where you have to look the most to as an operator? It's the chain, right? The chain have the nature of the length, and even if you use a very strong chains and you have oilers and everything, but it requires maintenance. So we said, hey, we want way less maintenance. It must be just easy to hook up and go. Don't take care. But because we all know how it is during harvest, right? You don't have time. You don't want to look at it every day. So that was the first idea. We somehow need to get away from, let's say, the trade-offs when you have a chain system. The other thing was, hey, if we do a next step and want to increase the feeding capacity, well, maybe let's also rethink the picking system. And there were some concept discussions, but we came, hey, let's prepare for whatever comes and let's do a real next step. And then we decided, hey, we go for the 6 tight bars to be ready whatever comes in the future, right? So, and in your conditions it works quite well. So we visited other machines where those pickups are running, and that's really how it came together. We listened to what are the market requirements, we listened to what the customers told us. We also know, of course, from our tests where we can improve, and we try to bring all of that together to be really able to feed the big machines with that one.
And Rob, you've been developing this header. I mean, I filled a few loads last year with a different version. Obviously, we couldn't talk about it, we couldn't show it. That's all fine. That's company protocol and process.
Yep.
We've seen some issues with it, but some really, really strong positives. Fixed auger is one of those ones where you're like, how does this work? But then it's that big, how couldn't it work? And we can tell everybody now and physically show you now at this stage, look how well it does work. But how important was Ireland in developing that particular header? Because 4 to 6, that's a 50% increase in picking up times.
Yeah.
And my argument to Johannes was back then, if I lay down in the ground, I'm a bit, would 4 people or 6 people lift me easier? Well, at that stage I was arguing 5, because would 4 people or 5 people pick me up easier because I'm a big heavy lump when you went all the way to 6. So just tell us a little bit about your involvement and how it's worked, because this is what people want to know, how these machines are developed, and that it's not just Johannes sitting in an office saying, we'll do this, put it out there, it's fine.
Yeah, no, look, there's a lot of things that all go on. I say it's 2 seasons we've been doing in Ireland testing with that header. Again, tough conditions, but also as well, other thing we're looking with is hours. You know, we need to get hours on them to see can they withstand the load. But yes, is one thing. Can they do it for a long time? And that's something some of our customers here are doing. They're doing a lot of hours, and a lot of acres or a lot of tons are going through, and that's obviously key for us then to see the durability. And all those machines, when we take them back at the end of the season or the end of that year, the factory guys, they're taking them apart, they're measuring everything, seeing where any wear points are, etc. Likewise, throughout the season, we're getting feedback from the customers. The guys are visiting. It was tricky during the last few years because of COVID, and hence I was probably more involved than I've ever been in things like that, because I was their eyes and ears on the ground because they couldn't travel. So again, you know, to be feeding that information back, what we were seeing, changes that were made, they'd send us parts, or one case during the season last year, they sent us a different pickup, you know, and that was a change. You know, we were having issues, and the next pickup they were gone, you know, and where we are today with the new 30R is incredible. You know, we all, customer, me, maybe when you see it first, the fixed auger, you have reservations about it, but it works. You know, it's nearly like a 5th feed roll, and that's, you know, it's just getting the stuff in there, that high volume, big auger, big flights. It can just feed the machine and load it.
The headers have came a long way, but that's the importance of local information and local help from anywhere. Thank you very much, guys, and thanks very much for inviting us down to talk a little bit about what John Deere has been doing in the product. And it was lovely to watch this 8.5 run today, and Mike's not afraid of her.
No.
He will put the loads on, and it's good to see it. And I hope you've enjoyed and also your colleagues that have been over with you as well. They seem to be loving life there. So
yeah, Ireland is great. It's great to be here.
Super. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Saw you rolling steady, took the kind of and my safe protection. I will